The views and opinions expressed on this show are 100% entertainment. Don't take any of this to the bank. It will say insufficient funds.
Hey, what's going on? My name is Brad, and with me is Jamie, and this is Loose Cannon 44. Welcome.
And this is Jamie, and next to me is Brad.
Which
He's a Bills fan, apparently.
I believe is what I've already mentioned. No, welcome to Loose Cannon 44. It's a brand new show. This is season 1, episode 1. This is the show premiere.
Brad, what does Loose Cannon 44 actually mean? Because apparently I was confused. I thought it should have been Loose Cannon 44.43.
Yeah, so Loose Cannon 44. The name came from when we became Cannonball Run champions back in February of 2023.
Yeah.
So we did the Cannonball Run in February of 2023. We completed it in 44 hours and 3 minutes. So Loose Cannon 44.
In a most awesome bone stock 2007 Prius.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's how we became the Cannonball Run champions. So because of that, we wanted to take that and kind of play it into a name. So Loose Cannon, which if you've ever watched our other podcasts or listened to our other podcasts or watched our other YouTube shows, whether it's the Conspiracy Juice Bar or Race Car Spelled Backwards, you probably realize that
you mean the one episode
Jamie can be a loose cannon.
Was it the Conspiracy Douche Bar? Or what?
Juice Bar.
Juice Bar.
Conspiracy
Don't we
Juice
do one
Bar.
or two of those?
I think we did like 6 or 7.
Really?
Yeah. We're going to do more of these than those, right?
Well, we're just going to combine it. Actually, yeah.
So that's where the Loose Cannon name came from. So, but as we said, if you haven't listened to our other shows, my name is Brad, and this is Jamie.
Did you forget my name there for a second?
I think. Who's this guy?
That
next
guy
to
over
me?
there? Jaime?
Jaime is Jamie in Spanish.
It is.
I know. I'm just saying. The people watching, maybe they didn't watch Race Car Spelled Backwards.
I knew some Italians that called me Jaime until they called me something else.
Jaime?
Yeah.
I mean, I remember when I first met you, you introduced yourself as Jaime at a meeting one time. So
I did that when I first came here, too.
You did, actually. That's right.
If I'm not sure whether I like you or not, I introduce you to
Jaime.
It's
easier that way.
Yeah, and then when they say, hey, Jaime.
Like, no, that's not me.
Well, or maybe it's still me, depending on who you are.
And depending on what they think about you.
Well, I don't ask for their input. Screw them.
So. Well, Jamie's got a Porsche hat on. You're going to call it my Bills hat?
I do.
I'm
a massive Porsche fan.
I'm a new Bills fan. Like,
are you a Porsche fan?
I like your Porsche.
Me too.
Pretty nice. So look, I was going through the Urban Dictionary, and the word of the week on Urban Dictionary this week was spider bro.
What is a spider bro?
Spider bro. The definition for spider bro is spider that is your bro.
So if you were Spider-Man's brother, Peter Parker's brother, you would be spider bro.
Or if you have a spider living in your bedroom and he's your friend, he would be your spider bro.
Oh.
But
pet tarantula? Or?
If you were going to use spider bro in a sentence, you might say, my mom killed my spider bro, so I raged on her.
What about a spider bra? What's up, bra?
Bra? I think that's
spider
more.
Bra?
Spider bra would be more Californian. Right? Yeah.
Well, they do have their own language over there.
Spider bro. That's the dumbest thing I've heard in my life. Like, it's not a word. It's just spider followed by the word bra. Bro.
Well,
but this is Urban Dictionary, and you got to remember the Urban Dictionary is written by you. We go in there. Anybody can go in and edit the Urban Dictionary.
Just like Wikipedia dictionary?
Except this is the future of our country. Spider bro.
We don't have a future.
Spider bro.
There's no future.
I'm your president, bro.
There is no future.
There is no hope. So, Loose Cannon 44. We're probably going to offend somebody weekly.
We're not doing our job if you're not offended.
What do you think? Weekly will offend somebody?
Yeah.
Every episode?
If we did it every day, we probably...
Maybe even every segment. Yeah. You never know.
Could.
So, this is the first episode. This is also the first week of January. And January 2nd, if you didn't know, it's National Buffet Day.
Is today the 2nd? I lost track. I took a week off.
Today's the 3rd.
Oh, I took a week off.
Yesterday was National Buffet Day. So did you happen to go to a buffet yesterday?
I don't like buffets. It kind of skis me out.
You're gonna knock your thingy off.
My thingy is barely functioning anyway. So I gotta,
You washing dishes 3 times a day?
got blue tape there. It matches the blue pill.
So January 3rd, that's today. It's National Chocolate Covered Cherry Day. January 4th.
Oh, I don't like chocolate covered cherries.
You don't?
No,
I didn't think you would.
Ugh.
The 4th is National Spaghetti Day.
I like spaghetti now.
The 5th is National Whipped Cream Day.
If my wife wasn't injured, we might play with that.
Whipped cream?
Yeah.
You could celebrate the 5th on the 6th because the 6th is National Cuddle Day.
Could I coat her in whipped cream and then we cuddle?
You cuddle and then you break the whipped cream out.
And then I want to make the other day, I want to see her head bobble.
And then January 7th is National Bobblehead Day.
Combine all 3. Whipped cream, cuddle, and bobble that head.
You ain't right.
We are rated M for mature, thank you.
Spider Bro.
What's up, Spider Bro?
I just can't get over it, man. Look, I looked up these national days too. Like it's insane. Like there's a national day for everything. It's like you just make crap up. Like, you know what? Today is National York Peppermint Patty Day. Because
is that I know some people that never work. You think it's because of all these days they're just taking off?
Maybe.
Could be.
They're just like permanently actually they're employed, but they're permanently unworking because of the national days. So maybe that's why you can't get them. It's because
I think they're going to start
chocolate covered cherry day and they're celebrating.
They're going to start working soon. You know why? All these illegal immigrants are taking their checks.
They get somebody's money.
They're getting thrown out of their public housing with no food stamps because we're giving them to those immigrants.
I saw a guy on Instagram said that he was walking to Mexico so he could cross over legally and re-enter the country illegally so he would be eligible for government assistance because he lost his government assistance.
Well,
so to get it back,
right.
He was going to become an illegal alien.
Okay, I agree with him.
That's crazy.
I think
that's the thought process people are going through. That's what I'm saying. That's crazy.
Because if you were on the dole before and they took you off, you might as well be an illegal immigrant or alien.
So do you think they should be able to vote? That's one of the big topics going on.
Well, they're not
now.
citizens.
Okay, but they're wanting to issue IDs so they'll be eligible to vote. So
don't you have to be a citizen to vote?
I think you should have to be a citizen to vote 100%. Why? If you're not a citizen, a legally registered citizen.
That sounds like political BS to me.
It all sounds like BS.
Uh-huh.
I mean, it makes no sense to me at all. It's like,
well, you know what the problem is?
Saying that an illegal alien can vote is like saying that I can control the decision making on your vehicle without you knowing about it. So if I want to go sell your car tomorrow, I should be able to sell your car tomorrow. Right? I mean,
why not?
Well, yeah,
now, let's make something
There's
clear.
No ownership there.
I'm a conservative independent. So when I make fun of one political party, I'll preface that with another make fun of the other party.
Okay,
but
we're going to go ahead and get this info out there.
Well, yeah, I'm just let people know.
Okay, I don't know.
But there's no conservatives left.
There's not?
I'm the single standing conservative.
I feel like I'm
the last conservative standing.
I'm a libertarian leaning conservative. Or, no, a conservative leaning.
Why can't you be conservative libertarian?
That's what I'm saying. I'm a conservative libertarian. Yeah. I'm a libertarian that leans more conservative than liberal, right?
Yeah. I wonder, when was the last president that had a balanced budget? Because that's really going to affect you and me, what we make the most.
You know my opinion. And for all of you
they don't know your opinion, Brad.
So I think personally the last great president that the United States of America had was the great late George Washington.
You're probably right. Things have been going downhill since.
Ever since. I mean, George knocked him dead. And ever since, it's been a downhill struggle. And it just keeps getting worse and worse every year, every election cycle, in my opinion.
Now, for badassery,
okay.
Teddy Roosevelt. He was a badass.
He's been in a lot of movies.
No, he hasn't. They didn't have movies back then.
No, I mean like his character.
That was Robin Williams. He's dead too.
Robin, that's right. Yes, that's what I was thinking about. Night at the Museum. So yeah, All right. So the way this show's going to work, we are probably going to go off on a lot of tangents. We usually go off on a lot of tangents, but we're going to break each show up into different segments. And our first segment we're going to jump into is a segment we're going to call Florida Man Stories. Now, this doesn't mean every story will be from Florida or a man.
But they're purely entertaining, all of them.
Always. They never let us down. Florida never lets me down.
If you want to do something stupid, drive Florida.
Or just read about Florida if you want to read about something stupid.
Yeah,
so
might be better to vicariously live through a Florida man instead of actually doing it.
No doubt. So a man in Florida, in Miami actually, shoots a landscaper who is suspected. What? A Florida man. God, I can't read today.
Oh,
it must be the cold weather.
Did you visit Florida this year or last year? Maybe
it's 50 degrees.
Maybe you brought some Florida back with you.
A Florida man in Miami shoots a landscaper who he suspected was blowing leaves onto his property.
That's a good reason to kill someone.
Now, luckily, he didn't kill him.
Oh, thank goodness.
But the landscaper was taken to the emergency room in critical condition. So the landscaper was working at a property across the street when the owner of the property became upset that the leaves were being blown onto his property. An argument broke out between the property owner and the landscaper, with the property owner then pulling out a gun and shooting the landscaper. Reportedly, he shot him in the leg. The landscaper was then taken to the local emergency room in critical condition. There's not an update on his current condition, but...
Don't you think gunman, crazy neighbor could approach this better and said, hey, can you blow the stuff you blew off into my lawn back into the road, please?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think pulling a gun should be your first instinct over a leaf blowing dispute.
And yeah, we're talking leaves here. We're not talking he beat your wife or crashed your car.
And you got to remember, we're talking Miami, Florida. How much palm tree leaves are laying on the ground, you know? It's not like Georgia where all the leaves fall off the tree. Or any other
moss
state
hanging off the cypress trees.
Okay, but my point is, it can't be that much. It can't be that many leaves that you would
orange tree leaves. Maybe they
justifiably go, I'm going to shoot this guy. I mean, don't get me wrong. We got some landscapers that show up across the street and they show up.
You ever shoot them?
No, but they show up every Friday at getting off time. Like, it's time to be done with work. Weekend is getting ready to start.
Why does that piss you off? Just go in the house, put on headphones.
Because I want to go sit by the fire pit.
They're in your backyard?
At dusk, and they're across the street, and I can hear them. It's extremely loud. There's not a lot of trees between the fire pits.
You're going to end up shooting some landscaper.
No, my point
Poor guy's out there working his ass off, and he's like, damn, I want to be sitting at home drinking a beer too, but I got this one more yard to cut. And you're out there jonesing on them going, holy crap, dude, can you turn off your blower?
It's 6:30, man. Turn it off. I don't want to hear it. But my point is, this has been going on for 2 years. I ain't never shot the guy. This dude in Florida and Miami, one time, the landscaper blew a leaf on his property.
I'm proud of you.
And he shot him.
Not shooting the neighbors.
2 years I've restrained myself.
I'm proud of you.
Not shot the landscaper.
I'm proud of you for that.
But I'm saying, one time, how mad you gotta be to go shoot the landscaper? Like, what kind of day are you having?
I'm just saying you probably shouldn't be allowed to own a gun. And I'm for the right to bear arms, but that guy probably should not have that right.
No.
Well, he doesn't now.
No, he's in jail.
He uncapped the guy.
I mean, this is Miami, so, you know, he's at least in jail for what? 5 years?
500.
You think?
Aren't they one of them crazy liberal cities?
Florida?
I always thought Miami was kind of like Los Angeles.
No, I don't think so. I mean, in the sense that they're both warm year round, yeah.
No, I'm talking about just making laws, locking you up in your neighborhood.
I've never been to Miami. Now that I think
really?
About it. No. Well, I've been to the airport. I guess that does count.
Well, technically you were there, but
so I was in Miami. I flew into Miami, then I flew back out. So I guess that's.
I was. You know, you don't want to get lost in Miami. You go from mansions to sketch in a block
Real fast?
real fast.
Yeah, I think I'd pass. I mean, I guess I need to go check it out. I want to go to Key West. Never been there. And
I've been there.
I wouldn't mind going to the race in Miami, the NASCAR race in Homestead. So,
Was that really Miami though?
well, you'd stay in Miami. Homestead's out in the middle of the swamp.
I don't know. You know, Homestead is just a few miles away from getting to the Keys.
Yeah.
We'll stay at the Keys.
Okay.
Probably more expensive. That's probably well.
But we'd probably fly into
probably where
Miami.
those drivers are staying.
Yet again, we'd fly into Miami.
We'll drive.
I've been to the Miami airport twice now.
We got a Prius. It's 2 tanks.
I had a Spanish teacher in high school. She was a topless beer server for a beach on South Beach.
That would have been awesome.
Well, I mean, we never went to South Beach, but
When she didn't
she didn't teach Spanish topless.
She didn't take her shirt off.
And I don't even know if that's true. That's just a story.
Did she tell you, or someone else tell you?
Oh, she definitely didn't tell us. No, somebody else.
Oh.
It might not have been true, but as a 16-year-old in high school, it was fun to think it was true.
And you rubbed a few off on that one.
I never thought it wasn't true until just now.
See.
You made me question that. No, this is the same Spanish teacher.
She's 70 now, though.
This Spanish teacher, she made me promise never to speak the Spanish language in trade. She gave me a passing grade.
Oh, I thought she was going to give you something else.
No,
Okay.
I passed Spanish
Congratulations.
because I agreed never to speak. Apparently,
What if
people
you're
with a southern accent.
You don't want to
shouldn't speak
bump into
Spanish.
anybody at Kroger with your wife and go, "Hey, honey, this is my Spanish teacher." Didn't she go to the same high school with you?
Yeah, we graduated at the same time.
She knows her.
Yeah, she definitely knows her.
What was her name? Tatiana
My teacher?
Tiddlywinks?
No, Miss Reynolds was her name, I think.
She
I'm
was
not mistaken.
Spanish?
She was young. She was from Argentina.
Oh,
She was a redhead from Argentina.
well, that can happen.
Yeah, obviously.
Just like all the
And she
immigration
spoke
to
Spanish.
America.
She was a Spanish teacher in Georgia. I mean, and this is back in the 90s, so early 2000s.
So it was pointless to know Spanish back then.
Yeah. Like we didn't, in America, we didn't need to know Spanish in the late 90s, early 2000s.
I'm getting close to learning Spanish. I paid for Babbel. We're gonna see about it later. See if it takes.
Pay for it every month.
Yeah.
All right. So next state we're going to visit is Indiana. An Indiana woman is arrested for tying up, threatening, and beating a 61-year-old man in her apartment. The woman sent the 61-year-old man an alarming text message at 2 a.m. He said he rushed over out of concern for her and her 5-month-old baby. Once he arrived at the apartment, the woman started beating him with a frying pan, and her friend used rope and chains to tie the man up and gag him with a ball gag.
Craig, googly moogly. What the heck? Why did she even have a gag in her apartment?
Hey, I'm
Oh,
not asking those kind of questions. I mean, I'm not here to judge if ball gags are your thing.
I mean, I know what one is. I've never seen one in person.
So that one in your car is not yours?
No, that's actually that is my racquetball ball, dude. There's no like necklace around it to put it in your mouth and tighten it up.
The one laying next to your golf clubs?
That's racquetball.
Oh, okay. So according to the court documents, the two women beat the man for a few hours and demanded that he sell them one of his properties at gunpoint.
Wow, that's gonna work.
The next day, the man escaped and was found by the police naked and still gagged with multiple broken bones. After searching the women's apartment, police found the material used to restrain the man, the gun, as well as the crystal meth that they had been using the night before.
So they weren't smart enough to get rid of the evidence when the guy escaped?
You know, I'm thinking,
wow, maybe you shouldn't do drugs.
I'm thinking they don't sound like the smartest, right?
Maybe you shouldn't be doing crystal meth.
This ain't the greatest and brightest minds of America.
I'm
Definitely
surprised
not.
she hasn't moved to Florida yet.
Well, see, that was my thing. These are Florida man stories, but they can be from any state. And in Indiana, apparently, this woman, she thought she could beat this dude over the head with a frying pan, and he would start selling her his properties.
Have you noticed, though, being in Georgia, both you and I live a few miles from Interstate 75, there's a lot of Indiana cars headed to Florida.
Well, they're moving there.
This is rich Florida.
If this is the kind of stuff that happens on the daily in Indiana on the news, why not just move on down to Florida, right?
Why not?
It's going to happen. That you might as well just go ahead and move to the Florida Man community and be part of the community.
Maybe DeSantis should do a tourism ad saying, skip the snow and buy the blow. Skip the snow and get your blow.
Skip the snow and bring your blow.
Yeah.
Florida.
Maybe he would win in the primaries if he did that.
How do they always, when I'm reading news articles and stuff and they mention meth or crystal meth or any other of the speed or any other of the names for it, right? How do they decide which name to go with?
Don't you think it's regional?
Well, so you're thinking in Indiana, crystal meth probably fits?
Yeah, and then
here in Georgia, it would just be meth.
Yeah.
Like, crystal is the lady who sold it to you.
All you have to do in Georgia is go to what looks like an abandoned single-wide trailer in the woods. You can get meth.
That's where they're cooking it at.
Yeah, that's where they cook it at.
Yeah, hook us up, man. We need some meth. But yeah, I mean, I've always wondered that. Like,
and Alabama too. I mean, let's not leave them
meth.
out. Yeah, and the trailers.
It's crack. I guess that'd be like your city's inner city. Would be crack.
Yeah. When you get inside the 285,
it's more urban.
Yeah.
Crack is more urban, where meth is more rural. Is that what you're saying?
I think
if you learn anything from this show, it's don't do meth
or crack
or anything along those lines.
The problem really is dumb white guys within the city limits doing crack, and then dumb country white guys out in the country doing meth.
That's what I mean.
No, they call meth white man crack. They do where I'm from.
I don't know. I'm thinking like, I think meth is more of a rural term, where crack is more.
Do you think it's interchangeable? If I went to downtown Atlanta,
I think if you go to downtown,
give me some meth, they're going to sell me crack.
Yes.
Okay.
They just want to sell you something. They're just trying to make $1.
Well, now it's probably all fentanyl, so it doesn't matter. Yeah.
Yeah. So don't do meth. It could be fentanyl.
Or fentanyl.
Don't do fentanyl. Don't do fentanyl. It could be laced with meth.
Don't do cocaine.
Don't do speed, heroin.
To be honest,
I mean, we can list them all.
If you're in a state that hasn't legalized recreational use, you could be smoking yard grass with fentanyl sprinkled in it.
Very much.
Because there's no quality and control.
No, and then
so probably don't do any illegal drugs.
I heard that recently that they were starting to crack down on, or not crack down on, but they were starting to find fentanyl in, weed and other drugs too, that not just cocaine. I mean, apparently it's a big thing with heroin. They'll mix the two.
Well, all you need's chemist.
Well, fentanyl apparently is so much cheaper to buy and manufacture than heroin. They buy the heroin and cut it with the fentanyl.
And charge you heroin rates.
I mean, we're sitting here having a conversation like we actually know what we're talking about. But other than podcasts and movies,
dude,
no joke. Really know.
Go to YouTube when you get a chance. Anyone out there on YouTube world, you can do it too.
When you're done watching this show.
We're going to watch this. But Trank. Do Trank in Philadelphia. It is fentanyl and a tranquilizer. These guys get high and they bend down. They pass out with their nose on the pavement and their feet on the pavement, and they get stuck in a U.
I've seen that.
They're high just in a U going, ugh. What the hell, dude? It turns them into zombies.
I mean, I've never done it, so I don't know what the feeling is like.
I think it's brand new. I think you're beyond the age of even experimenting. I hope so.
Remember the bath salt epidemic they had in like Miami that time, where people were chewing off other people's faces? Like this dude smoking bath salts runs out of the Bath and Body Works and just starts eating a lady's face off.
Oh, I think that was like a fentanyl.
So Trank, at least they're not eating people.
No, well, they're basically just. They look like they've turned into an elephant.
So you know who did it because of the road rash on their face?
Yeah, I mean, dude, that is some. I mean, I don't understand people doing this crazy crap. I don't get it.
All right. Well, next week we'll hopefully pick a few different states. It's hard not to have a Florida man out of Florida.
Florida Trank story.
I'll look for one. Well, now the next segment we're going to jump into is Jamie's political rant.
Yeah, I'm about to rant.
Jamie loves to have political rant. If you don't know Jamie personally, he likes to have political rants. So
well, what I want to do, you got
to bring them to the interweb.
We got these wacky people, right? They're like,
politicians.
Everything's a conspiracy.
It is.
It is.
Anytime you don't want the public to believe something, all you have to do is label it as a conspiracy.
Let's go back in time. You know how they do it on Scooby-Doo. We're going to go back in time to the first, well, there's been a lot of elections where they said, I won, they won, we won. But the first mainstream in our lifetimes where someone pointed the finger and said, cheater. And that would be, believe it or not a Republican. It would have been Bernie Sanders. He pointed his fingers and said, Hillary Clinton's a cheater, and so is the DNC. They cheated.
When was this?
2016. Because the DNC would not sit Bernie Sanders delegates from winning primaries. Instead, they took his delegates and put in their alternate delegates who were Hillary Clinton's.
So they did that, though, because they thought that Hillary had a better shot of beating the Republican primary candidate.
Well, here's my question. Now,
right?
Bernie's a socialist, right?
Well,
but if he won the primary fair and square, it should be his opportunity to lose it, right?
No doubt.
Well, and people are going to say, J.B. Jaime is a conspiracy theorist. I'm going to read a court decision. In June 2016, this was written by Michael Santino on The Observer, 8/26/17. In June 2016, a class action lawsuit was filed against the Democratic National Committee and former DNC chair Debbie Wasserman Schultz for violating the DNC charter by rigging the Democratic presidential primaries for Hillary Clinton against Bernie Sanders. Even former Senate Minority Leader Harry Reid admitted in July 2016, this is him in quotes, I knew everybody knew this, but this was not a fair deal. So this Wasserman chick, she resigned. He says she should have done it sooner. So what happened is Bernie's suing. Because his people gave him money, he won, and they didn't get their dollar's value. And Bernie says they cheated.
Well, I think the people are the ones who ultimately got screwed.
We all got screwed because this also affects the RNC. So the judge dismissed the lawsuit, admitting the allegation was true. But the legal standard is that the Democratic National Convention or Committee and the Republican National Committee are not legally bound to any decisions in the federal courts because they're a private club and they can make up the rules as they go along. So basically,
see, that's the problem. There's too many private organizations intertwined with these federal organizations that you don't know what's what.
They can't be held accountable. None of them.
I mean, it's like the Federal Reserve is a private company.
Well, and I learned this running for a local political office.
So you can't hold them accountable.
The party steps in and takes over.
No doubt they
buy you.
I know they did. I was there.
Yeah, they just buy you off.
I was going to be the chief of staff, and we were going to
run for Congress, and they said, no, guess what?
We think not.
You're not going to, but we will pay for any local campaign you want to run in. They did. I'm not going to say they didn't, but it's all a smokescreen, dude.
It is.
We're no longer for the people, by the people.
No,
we're for the elite, by the elite.
Yeah, it's not even, well, I think it's for the politicians, by the elite. So the elite make the decisions.
The politicians are just meat puppets.
That's all they are. They're just the puppets pulling the string because that's who the elite needs to pull the strings. Because they can't pull them.
And as I'm going to say, what does this mean for Robert F. Kennedy Jr.? Well, they're not going to have a debate with Joe Biden, with Robert F. Kennedy. They're refusing to even have a debate.
Joe Biden can't even give a speech, much less a debate.
But he's running as a Democrat. There's only two contenders. Shouldn't they get together and debate?
Yes.
And the same goes for Trump. Shouldn't he go to a debate?
Wouldn't it be hilarious if Biden lost the primaries?
I'm not going to vote for Biden.
Well, you don't get to vote.
Well,
You're not a registered Democrat.
no, well, in Georgia, you are what you voted for in the last primary. So if you vote the Republican ticket, you're a Republican. And as I stated, being an independent conservative, I lean more, well, used to lean more Republican.
Well, it's because they were
Historically,
in
they
recent
believe in
years, they
balanced
were more-
budgets.
and they were more for the family. Like I said, I'm a libertarian, 100% libertarian. I'm for smaller government, less government. Leave me alone. Stay out of my business.
Balanced budgets, lower taxes.
Let me keep my money. Don't
Let me
take all my money. I don't want to work my life away just so you cannot pave the roads out by my house.
Let me keep my gun.
Let me keep my guns. Just leave me alone. And you know what? I'll leave you alone.
I'm not shooting neighbors, blowing the blower.
No. I mean, I even have an electric saw, so I'm a lot
So you-
quieter.
So you,
I don't
your
want
neighbors?
I don't want to shoot me. That old Cardin's out there with that chainsaw again. I come out shooting. No.
well, I think, RFK can win delegates. They're not going to have, he's going to have no voice at the table, even with delegates.
No.
Someone has decided that we need a crazy old man. Well, actually, both of them are crazy. We need two crazy old men to represent us as president. And one crazy is going to out crazy the other.
Well, I don't know.
Wouldn't you like to see someone your age, or even my age for that matter?
I would like to see somebody in their late 40s, early 50s as president.
I would settle for 65 at this point.
I mean, yeah.
I mean, that's young compared to these people.
50s. But yeah, I mean,
The Capitol is the oldest nursing home in America.
that's all it is.
They got great benefits. They take bribes from all the.
I mean, you got multiple senators
They came in.
having strokes on camera.
Well, what about old Feinstein? She's sitting there and the guy's lifting her hand up.
So she could vote, yeah.
It's
And
time to vote, man.
Who's the other one?
It's
Mitchie.
she's voting. No, you lifted her hand. No, I didn't.
Yeah, Mitch McConnell, like,
Mitch
visibly, like,
McConnell. Dude.
and he's like, I'm good.
And
I'm
Mitch,
good.
I
Fully
mean,
competent.
Yeah. Maybe he and Feinstein should have got married before she
Dude.
died.
Like, these people are,
They are.
if they were not politicians, their grandkids would put them in a home. But instead, they don't have to put them in a
They
home
send 'em to
because
the
they're in
Capitol.
Congress.
Go to the U.S. Capitol.
It's cheaper on us to put you in Congress than to put you in a
Your
nursing
chief
home.
of staff will wipe the drool off your
Oh
lips.
man, it's insane. No, I would. But here's the problem: the only way to fix it is with term limits. If you put term limits on it, they'll get in there and they'll do what benefits the people versus what benefits them. All they want to do now is to keep their seat. They get into power, and all they want to do is keep the power. They're not.
Well,
gonna,
they're getting money too.
but
Let's
they're
not forget.
Yeah, but term limits is not going to happen because the ones you need to vote for these term limits are the ones who
The
are
ones
currently
that you
in
want
office.
to get rid of.
But they're not going to let you get rid of them.
Well, there's one other way to do it, and that is a state constitutional convention.
How you do that?
Our state legislators can do that.
But then you need every state to do it.
But they're also politicians.
That's the other thing. Like, we can't have each state different. I mean, we already got that problem when it comes to marijuana. You got half the states got this, the other half have this, and no two states are even alike hardly. So we don't need that with term limits. That would be bad for us as a state if our state's the only state with term limits.
Well, if our state had any sense, we'd legalize gambling and online gambling and marijuana. Think of all the money that's disappearing because they're getting their weed and betting their gambling. Betting their gambling. That makes no sense. Gambling their betting.
So, like, I saw a stat where, like, New Jersey just had, like, their first year in recreational cannabis sales brought them in like $1 billion. New York City or New York in just one quarter or something was like 1.7 billion.
The problem is the politicians get to spend that money.
That's what I mean. Like,
and
why not? I just don't think. Back to my original point is, I don't think we need the states to be that drastically different.
You know what the problem is?
Elections and politicians should all have the same federal set of laws as far as term limits, behavior laws. I don't think politicians should be able to trade in the stock market.
I think both parties have brainwashed their members. We the people are the ones that aren't holding them accountable, or they wouldn't get away with it.
But here's my problem with all of it. We the people elect these idiots. There's only a few of these guys. There's a lot of people. Like, you got to watch the politicians' game, because their game is to keep us divided, because God forbid we come together as people of America. And
Americans.
That would be bad for politicians. If we all stuck together and voted a certain way and voted for our best interest, that would be bad for them. So watch their game. Their game is always promoting division, hate. I mean, they don't want any of us to be friends, because when you're friends, you communicate and you talk to each other. And when you do that,
we can all go, that dude lied to me. My politician lied to me. Really?
They don't want us catching on. But really, we need to catch on. We the people. It's all of us. All of us are in it. The decisions they make affect we the people. Not just we their party, but the people. 100% of us are affected by this.
Well, think of the lies both parties are selling.
That's all it is.
The Republicans are like, oh my goodness, us white folks are going to be minorities soon. Well, you know what? It's going to happen anyway. But you got that fringe group. They're like, oh my God, he's right. Oh my God.
Well, you're talking extremists. There's extremists on the left. There's
I think the extremists is taking over on both sides. And then you got your liberals.
Oh, I agree it is.
They're going, oh my God, the white guy wants to take everything from me.
No, it is the extremists have taken over both parties. That's the problem.
Races need to disappear. We're all Americans.
In this instance, we are 100%. We the people. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
We as a country need to band together and be Americans. That's all. Because otherwise, we're going to keep creating division, or we're not going to create the division. Well, I guess
the division's created.
They create the division, or
they stir up, is what they do.
They start it, and then
our worst fears.
There's people who love that stuff. Like,
yeah, they're called politicians and networks.
Yeah,
it makes for easy news, even for the broadcast networks. It's so easy,
no doubt. So, all right,
that's my rant.
That's Jamie's rant. Well, I'm glad you had a political rant for
We're all screwed.
All right, so next thing we're going to jump into is a segment I like to call "How to Get Paid."
I'd like to know how to get paid, Brad.
Well, there's an 18-year-old in Florida. So this woman in Florida, she is suing the Hershey company, claiming false advertising on their specialty-themed Reese's peanut butter cups. In a proposed federal class action lawsuit filed,
she's going class action?
Yeah, she's seeking at least $5 million. This 18-year-old Florida woman has accused the Hershey company of deceiving consumers by falsely promising that its candies would contain carved-out artistic designs. The plaintiff claims that she would not have bought the $4.49 bag of Reese's pumpkins had she known the candies lacked the cute-looking carved-out eyes and mouth shown on the packaging.
So she thought the pumpkin was actually going to be a Reese's pumpkin?
She thought, yeah.
It's in the shape of a pumpkin.
But correct. If you look at the packaging, though, it shows the outline of the pumpkin. It's
smiling.
But it has eyes and a mouth. When you open it, it doesn't have eyes and a mouth.
Oh, so this is worth $5 million?
So, for this 18-year-old, it is.
I should have sued him a long time ago.
No doubt. Even the regular Reese's peanut butter cups sometimes come with the finger indentation in them, you know? That ain't shown on the cover. They sold me
Somebody put
perfectly
their
right.
fingerprint in their
The lawsuit.
peanut butter cup.
So this lawsuit is seeking damages for Florida purchasers of Reese's Peanut Butter Pumpkins, Reese's Peanut Butter Ghost, Reese's White Peanut Butter Ghost, Reese's Bats, Reese's Peanut Butter Footballs, and the Reese's Peanut Butter Assorted Snowman Stocking Bells Peanut Butter Cups for violating the state's consumer protection laws.
More curious than her, who was her lawyer that brought this to the case? This is stupid.
At best, Hershey should have issued her a $5 credit.
Wow.
At best. Like,
No, I've complained to Hershey's.
this is the same generation who came up with the word spider, bro.
Come on, spider, bro.
How about a Hershey,
What's up,
bro? How about a pumpkin without carved eyes, bro? I've eaten the pumpkins. And never once, I didn't even notice the face on the packaging until I read about this woman in Florida.
See, this is
how to get paid. She's going to get something out of this.
I'm going to stick up for Hershey on this.
Go for it. I am too.
I had a bad experience with a Hershey bar. I don't like the almond Hershey bar.
Okay.
I had a plain Hershey bar. I had an almond shell in my plain. Not the almond, the shell.
Oh, the outer crust.
Yeah, the thing you got to crack to get to the almond.
Yeah.
Just a little piece. I pulled it out and it looked exactly like an almond shell. I emailed Hershey and said, hey, I got an piece of almond in my plain Hershey bar. They sent me like $50 worth of coupons to get $50 worth of their stuff for free at any grocery store. It said on the coupon free. I didn't crack a tooth. This lady just didn't have a jack.
I wonder if do you think she contacted Hershey's first to complain about, hey, y'all forgot to carve the eyes into my whole bag of Hershey pumpkins?
I mean, what's her point here? To get the likeness on the wrapper, not to show the mouth and eyeballs?
No, her point is
$5 million.
$5 million. That's why we call this segment How to Get Paid.
Hey, that lady that
This is how you get paid.
sued McDonald's for $5 million for the too hot coffee.
That happens all the time.
She had more of a case than this lady.
But in her defense, why do they serve the coffee so dang hot?
I don't know.
I mean, I'm the kind of guy when I go through the drive-thru.
Don't you wait a while?
No, I do, because I know it's going to burn me. I don't want to wait. I just want to drink my coffee, man.
I mean, if McDonald's had ice cream with it, but it's always broken, I could order both and make it lukewarm by licking some ice cream and having a sip of coffee.
Wasn't that like a conspiracy? The chocolate ice cream always being broke at the McDonald's?
It's still broke now. My local McDonald's still does not have milkshakes or ice cream. But
is it a money saving?
This is my own investigation, because I got right next to my McDonald's is a Dairy Queen,
and they're both owned by the same person.
They're both Hobart,
yeah,
the ice cream maker. Well, how come I can always get ice cream at Dairy Queen?
Because they're trying
the same dang machine at McDonald's is always broken.
It's because they want to spread out the wealth. He wants to make both his companies look successful. So by not having,
you think Ronald McDonald's owns the Dairy Queen?
I think the guy who owns the franchise owns both of them.
No, he doesn't. I looked it up.
Thought you just said it was some hobo.
No, across the street. They're across the street from each other.
I thought you said it was some hobo.
Oh,
Mr. Hobo.
There's a hobo that sleeps on the sidewalk in front of those places.
Oh, I thought you said it was Mr. Hobo on them both.
Man, I think maybe you got wax in them ears, Brad.
Well, what did you say? Hobart?
Well, Hobart.
Hobart.
They make the ice cream machines.
Okay.
At both McDonald's and Dairy Queen.
Maybe McDonald's is not paying their service fee to have Hobart come out monthly to service their Hobart. And you know why McDonald's don't? Because it's not their primary thing. Dairy Queen cannot be without ice cream. Dairy Queen without ice cream is just like...
Just Queen. Because there's no dairy.
Correct. It'd be like Krispy Kreme without donuts. Although I have been to a Dunkin' Donuts and they were out of donuts. They were also out of black coffee. I drank my coffee straight black. Went to Dunkin' Donuts.
How are you out of black coffee? Don't you add other stuff, or they just had the ice crap?
So I said, I just want a straight black coffee at Dunkin' Donuts. So they said, we're out of coffee right now, sir. I said, would you like me to grab a bag? Because there's like 30 bags for sale.
Yeah, they sell them retail.
She goes, oh, no, it just ain't done making. I think I would have finished
They're
that.
blaming it on Macon. Everybody in Georgia blames everything on Macon.
Well, she hadn't.
Damn it. I'm from Macon.
They were out of donuts, too.
Macon sucks, but it ain't all Macon's fault. Damn it.
So if you want to get paid and you live in the state of Florida, you need to reach out.
Get a Reese's.
You need to reach out because there's a class action Hershey lawsuit against the Reese's, and you probably bought some of the pumpkins without faces around Halloween time last year.
And if you're shooting your neighbor for using a blower.
If she's getting $5 million, you want to get a cut of that. So if it's just you and her, I mean, you're going to walk away with a nice little paycheck. But I'm thinking by the time everybody gets involved with this, it'll be like that time we all got a 39-cent Apple credit for that class action lawsuit against Apple. And most of us didn't even know we got the credit.
I remember getting a weird check and I thought it was a scam, so I threw it in the trash.
It was like
12 cents. I don't know.
But by the time everybody in Florida gets involved on this deal, once all the meth heads get involved, it'll be over.
Well, Hershey will just give them $5 million and say, shut up.
Probably. All right, let's jump into some headline news stories. Jamie, you want to start us off?
I do.
What you got?
Well, it's not out yet. I was going to do Epstein and his list.
Yeah.
It was supposed to be out yesterday. It's still not out yet.
You think he's still checking it twice?
I think the Billionaire Boys Club.
They're checking it twice.
Oh, they're suing to keep it from being released. As of us making this right now, there is no list. I have seen some kind of gangster list. You've also sent me a copy of the gangster list.
That was apparently the flight log.
It looked like the real flight log, but I can't. I scrolled through it.
I can't. I mean, there's like 190 pages or something.
You can't verify. Yeah. I can't verify it.
Yeah, I mean, I can't prove that that's Bill Clinton's name in there.
Oh, Bill Clinton's there.
Oh, there's no doubt.
I mean, what they say, he flew on the plane 26, 50 times.
There's pictures of the Clintons.
We better watch it. We might hang ourselves sitting on the floor.
You know
what the news.
You don't want to be friends with the Clintons.
You know what the news doesn't tell us?
Because they don't want to end up dead.
His partner, the French dude, was sitting in jail in France.
Yeah.
He hung himself sitting on the floor just like Epstein.
It's crazy, man.
How did they get the same hanging?
You got these Olympic swimmers drowning.
How?
In 2 foot of water.
No shit.
He drowned in my fish tank.
We have bunk beds in one of our. Well, it's empty.
Not us. We don't have bunk beds.
We live in separate places. At my house, bunk beds.
We have bunk beds down in our mom's
place.
So
I like to experience what other people experience.
What now?
Not children. The hanging. So I got a noose, right? Made it out of sheets. I went to the bunk bed, sat on the floor, and they say what Epstein did was put that sheet that he turned into a noose around one of the bedposts, pulled it, and hung himself. Well, I tried to hang myself. When I passed out, I let go of the sheet. It's impossible.
You're an idiot.
It's impossible. Don't tell me you didn't try waterboarding in 2000.
How did you try waterboarding?
You get some friends, you lay upside down, they wrap with
what kind of friends did you have?
And you pour water on your head.
No, me and my friends.
You didn't try waterboarding?
We never experimented with waterboarding.
That's worse than the old hang yourself. But it is impossible. When you pass out, you're going to lose your grip on your sheet. And then when you let go, you're going to come back too.
So it's like the sleeper hold. Basically, you're like sleeper holding yourself. And when you fall, you unsleeper hold yourself and you wake up.
I don't want to sound like a conspiracist.
Yeah, you do.
But I am. Yeah. There's no way in hell. The French prison also, their cameras were down and the guards weren't around. How did the same script get used in New York on Epstein?
Ooh, I know. I got the answer.
Clinton murder team?
Yeah, it's a cover-up.
The hit squad?
Look, every conspiracy theory that has come true, not everyone, but the majority of them, when there's cameras involved, those cameras are down. Look, Las Vegas has more cameras in a casino than they sell at all the Best Buys combined. There's more digital cameras recording you. You can't pick your nose at a casino without somebody watching you. But if you want to convince me that a man with multiple guns and duffel bags and all this ammo walked in through the casino, got on an elevator, and went up to his room, and nobody noticed. And the video is gone.
That's because he knew Jason Aldean was going to record a song called Small Town 5 years later.
So,
and he was going to try to prevent that.
That's what I mean. Like the whole Epstein thing, the more you call it a conspiracy, the more the majority, I believe, the majority.
Why is this list not out 48 hours after it's supposed to be released?
I believe the majority of people believe in conspiracy. I think you got to really go out on a limb to not believe in conspiracies. I think it's crazy to believe 100% in conspiracies.
Here's what sucks.
But to believe that none exist, that's crazy.
Well, this is a true conspiracy. But let's say, no shit. Let's just say this. Let's say you're a billionaire, but your Learjet's broken down.
Yeah.
And you kind of know Epstein socially. And Epstein says, man, I'm sorry that your buddy died there in Texas. I'll let you use my private jet. And you hit on that jet and you go to your friend's funeral, right?
Yeah.
You come back home. Guess what? You're on the list now.
Correct.
You're effed.
Yes.
You're totally effed.
Anybody who was an acquaintance of Epstein's is screwed now. But that's why this list won't ever come out.
If you were on that plane 10 times and you visited the island, you ain't got no excuse, dude. You got no excuse.
Yeah, I don't. Well, hopefully by this time next week, the list will be out and we'll circle back around.
If there is justice in this world.
There's not. Not in this country, at least.
Anyone, you know that freaky weird dude?
Which one?
Woody Allen.
Okay.
Who we know molested his children and still walking around. Proof positive money buys you exemptions for laws.
Oh, yeah.
They're saying he went to Epstein Island. Do you think maybe he didn't participate? No, he did.
Well, I mean, they're claiming like Tom Hanks and all those people went there. They're claiming that all these celebrities went there. But
if you went to the island, I think you're screwed.
But I think that the list needs to come out. If there is a client list, then it should come out.
Think about all this wealth, though. Combine all those freaks and weirdos that went to the island. Combine all their wealth, we're probably talking trillions of dollars.
That's what I mean. So it ain't going to ever come out.
Dollars to donuts. If you and I are paying in donuts, we're not getting off the list, but we didn't do anything. But if you got trillions of dollars behind your ass,
your name's blacked out.
This list ain't coming out.
No, because you're paying the politicians who control this list.
Right. You're the puppet master. These are puppet masters that got nailed.
Correct. He worked for the puppet. Pizzagate, all that, that's all Epstein. It has to be.
I think it's Clinton's.
Oh, yeah.
What about these? Let's say news story.
You think
news story?
You think Hillary Clinton checks her emails?
Yeah, because she does it on Gmail.
Yeah,
even the super secret stuff.
Yeah, hey, that's what I'd do if I was her.
I think Putin has a hard drive,
probably,
or Kim Jong-un has a hard drive.
He got pictures or something.
And they use Putin's and Kim Jong-un's hit squads.
That's probably what cross-dresser over in Ukraine. What's his name? The president?
Bruce Jenner?
No, the president of Ukraine. Zimmerberg. What's his name? God, I can't.
I don't even care anymore.
Yeah, well, anyway, the dude from Ukraine.
I'm getting tired of my tax money.
He's probably got video from Epstein Island on the Bidens, and that's how he keeps the money flowing.
Well, he was a stand-up comedian before he's president. He probably did shows at Epstein Island.
Yeah, that's the video of him.
Or was it the other president before him?
Which one?
Well, they're all the same in Ukraine. The other one.
I can't remember the guy's name. Starts with a Z.
I got a question for you. You think they're going to have an election during this war in Ukrainian?
I think 2024 they're going to have some staged event come out, so we don't have an election.
Putin has announced he will be running for re-election in March. We know how fair those elections are.
In America?
Yeah, well.
He's running on the Republican ticket?
Apparently, with this court case, we about have the same elections Russia has. We just didn't know it.
No, we about had the same election Russia. Yeah,
our
elections have been rigged since Washington.
Now I'm going to go to another headline here. A little segue. A White House chef is the most dangerous job in America right now.
Oh, no doubt. I can think of at least two that have died.
Well, the Clintons' chef
He drowned.
Drowned on a peak in the Colorado Rockies,
Well,
3 miles from the closest body of water.
dude, I'm telling you.
How did that happen?
It's because the moisture content at that elevation is so high.
Kim Jong-un,
drowned.
special agent.
He drowned from the elevation moisture.
Okay, sure, that works.
Elevation moisture, it's a thing.
So you got Obama.
Google it.
I don't think Obama's responsible for this. I think the Clintons did it.
He drowned in a puddle.
His chef was doing a little of that stand-up paddleboard thing.
Yeah.
And drowned.
In like 2 feet of water.
Yeah.
And he was an Olympic swimmer.
And with a life jacket on. So
it's hard to drown. Like
so
he held his head underwater himself.
Apparently he was like by himself in their $11 million mansion just hanging out.
Yeah, that's what they do.
Why didn't you and I become chefs?
Because we didn't want to get killed.
I haven't had a chance to die at
I can't swim.
Drown at an $11 million mansion? We wouldn't even get past the gates.
I think they ask you, can you swim? I don't think they're going to take your macaroni as a dinner, though.
Oh, I'm making pizza, but
Pizza,
if you and I cruised
macaroni.
up in the Prius to Obama's mansion there in, where is it, Nantucket, Martha's Vineyard, one of those rich islands, and just hit the button and say, hey,
can we come in?
It's Jamie and Brad from Cannon 44.
Will we please come in?
Can we come in?
They might let us in.
Here's my
They
question.
think we're some like
will
political
the Secret
newspaper.
Service beat the snot out of us, or will it be Clinton's henchmen?
I think it's one and the same, right?
Well, I think they control everything.
Yeah, one and the same.
I think maybe Hillary, through a speaker in Biden's ear, tells him what to do.
I'm surprised she's not trying to get back on the presidential run this year.
I think she and Bill decided controlling things are more profitable than actually having the office.
Yeah, no doubt. All right, I got a story for you.
Give me that story, Brad.
A Waffle House employee was shot during an argument with a customer at a local Stockbridge, Georgia Waffle House.
Well, that's just down the road from
This
us.
is on New Year's Day. My brother-in-law literally lives like a mile and a half from this Waffle House. This is the kind of stuff you see in Georgia. So Stockbridge, they don't even know. Stockbridge police have confirmed that a Waffle House employee was shot and is in stable condition after she got into an altercation with a customer in the early morning hours on New Year's Day. The employee was shot in the arm, and the shooter fled on foot and has not yet been identified. If you have a nephew, a daughter, or know somebody who shot a Waffle House employee on New Year's Day, police are asking that you help them out in identifying this suspect. Jamie, you don't have any family members, do you, that shot anybody on New Year's Day?
No, but I do have a lot of family members that eat at Waffle House.
I mean,
for anyone that doesn't know, we have more Waffle Houses in Georgia than McDonald's.
I grew up in Stockbridge. Legit. Interstate 75 runs down the center of Georgia. If you've never looked at the state on a map, look at it and you'll see Interstate 75. At the Stockbridge exit, if you were getting off and you went right, there was a Waffle House 100 yards away.
Left, there's a Waffle
If you went left, there was a Waffle House 100 yards away. Off that one Stockbridge exit that this happened off of, there's 3 Waffle Houses. Like, in the South, we are serious about our cholesterol.
We can have a blizzard in Georgia.
And Waffle House is still
Waffle
open.
House is open and there's people there.
Waffle House has only ever closed once in history, and that was during the COVID-19 pandemic. And they opened up, like, I remember our governor was praising Waffle House, like, look how Waffle House is doing it. They're separating the booths with shower curtains. That makes you safe from COVID. Come on in.
We all got COVID.
We all got shower curtains. Heck, Waffle House at one time, like week 1, Waffle House was selling off their groceries. And then by week 2, they were back open. In Georgia, we were only closed for about 14 days. 15 maybe.
Well, our governor knew what he was doing.
He wanted to get out of Waffle House.
Yeah, he wanted some waffles, dude.
So, talking about
maybe he should run for president.
Politics in East Point, Georgia.
Oh,
the city council has voted to decriminalize cannabis possession, making them the 13th city in the state of Georgia to decriminalize cannabis possession.
My town's decriminalized it.
The vote was 100% unanimous by the city council. The mayor is expected to sign the bill this week. Once that happens,
were they all taking a toke off the bong when they voted for it?
Probably.
Dude, this is awesome.
So anything under an ounce will become a $75 ticket. Will not be on any kind of record of yours. currently the state of
Well, that's
Georgia.
not really decriminalized. You still got to pay a fine.
It's just a fine. It doesn't go on your.
My town said
they don't even take it.
My town said
They
less
let
than an
you
ounce,
keep it.
We're not arresting you or fining you.
Yeah, that's how most of them are. So East Point, obviously, it's just they're going to have the 75. Look, people in East Point would probably gladly pay the 75. There's not a city in Georgia you can drive through currently and not smell marijuana.
No, if there's 4 deep at a traffic light,
you smell it.
You smell marijuana.
There, guarantee you, there's a Dodge Charger with the smell coming out of it.
Now, I'm against smoking weed and driving.
100%.
There's no.
So
it's the same as drinking.
My hope is it's the passenger.
Well, that's what. But don't you think you're getting residual?
That's why the windows are down. That's why we smell it.
Oh, you think?
Yeah, the driver's being responsible. He's like, I don't want to get a contact.
Well, couldn't you just leave the windows
roll
up?
My window down.
Hit circulate on your air conditioner.
Well, then it's just circulating in the car.
Right.
Then the driver's not being responsible.
Well, the way some of these idiots drive, you think they're high.
Well, maybe
anyway.
that would explain why they drive that way, because they are high. So, no, I mean, in Georgia, currently recreational use is illegal. We do have a medical law in Georgia. It restricts users to trace amounts of THC found in low THC oils only.
Basically, you have to be stage 4
this
with a day left to live before you can get any weed.
My thing, and then what they give you is just like the paper the weed was rolled in, and they emptied it out and then gave you the paper.
Lick the paper, you'll get a THC residue.
You can taste it. No, I mean, my whole point is East Point is the 13th city in Georgia. This is no different than what I was saying about state laws. They can't be this different from state to state. If it is 100% legal in Colorado, but when I drive across into Kansas, it's a federal crime and I'm going to prison.
Uncle Joe hasn't kept the promise. He was going to make it legal.
Well, he
probably forgot.
Yeah.
Jill. Look, someone left.
Joe was in office when cannabis was made illegal. He's not going to legalize it.
I think Hunter left the marijuana joint in my underwear. And Jill looks at it and goes, no, you pooped your pants again.
Hunter only leaves the cocaine laying around.
Yeah. He likes the cracker.
Yeah, so each week we're going to bring different headlines to the table. I'm going to try to pick a state each week. So maybe next week will be your state. This week it was the state of Georgia, since we do live in Georgia.
Yeah, because we don't have a shortage of idiots in any state.
No, I mean, luckily, like I said, we're the news that you need to know, that you didn't need to know, that you needed to know.
You didn't know you needed this.
You needed to know it. So you're welcome. Now you know, if you go to the Stockbridge Waffle House, don't argue. You might get shot.
We're here to legitimize your biggest fears.
And if you're going to smoke pot, in Georgia, at least go to East Point.
Yeah,
you might make it out. Or what up, Macon, Augusta.
There's no fines.
Athens. I mean, I remembered a few from the report when I was reading.
Is Columbus? Are they
probably? That sounds like another place that Valdosta's probably. I don't know. You might if you're going to smoke pot in Georgia, you might want to Google which cities have decriminalized it, so you know which cities to smoke pot in. If you're going to smoke pot in East Point, remember, take $75 with you.
Cash.
It will be a $75 fine. Cash paid to the officer.
Unless they set up a photograph or camera, take pictures of you smoking weed.
Don't get me started.
Mail you a picture of you smoking weed.
I don't drive through a school zone, and this is horrible because I see those cameras and I want to shoot on the bird, right? But then I think, what are all these teachers and students on the sidewalk going to think of me riding down the street,
true,
hanging my finger out the window? They're not going to know I'm flipping off the camera.
Well, we got a little controversy in Macon right now because the sign says photo speed limit enforced when lights are flashing. Well, guess what happened during the holidays when school was closed?
The lights kept flashing?
They weren't flashing, but people kept getting tickets.
Oh, I got a ticket driving a go-kart, a.k.a. a Mini Cooper, in a school zone at like 7 p.m. at night, something like that. Like, school was clearly not out, but it said I was going 10 miles over the speed limit. So now when I go through these video school zones,
I do the speed limit,
I do the school zone speed limit, no matter what.
I'm not getting a ticket.
I had a cop honk his horn at me going through a school zone because I was doing 35, and in that school zone, particular one, it's 55. So I was doing 35 during the middle of the day and
Well,
didn't
that
care.
cop has nothing to do with that ticket because they get third-party companies to administer it, and it's civil and not criminal.
It's $75 if you get the ticket. It costs you about $150 if you go to court. That's not even fighting it. That's just going to court.
You got to pay the fee.
Still got to pay the fine, and you got to pay the court fee.
Oh, it's bullshit. It's un-American.
It's 100%
un-American and probably unconstitutional. I wish some lawyer who wasn't a greedy bastard like most of them are would go just take a case and sue. Make them stop.
What he said. Sue them.
Un-American.
All right, so if you watched our other show, Race Car Spelled Backwards, at the end of every episode, before we tell you your NASCAR fantasy picks or our NASCAR fantasy picks, we give you a hotel review. If you listen to that show during the holidays on season 1, we review different products. So we will no longer be doing the reviews on the Race Car Spelled Backwards podcast. We're going to bring them over to this podcast and show. So we're going to start off this week by doing some Amazon reviews, particularly just one review off Amazon. I'm going to call it the review of the week. This week's review of the week are Crocs, the unisex classic clog. Jamie, do you own a pair of Crocs, sir?
I do not. I did once back like when they first came out 15 years ago. I didn't like them.
I am proud to say I've never owned a pair of Crocs. I have, unfortunately, put my foot into a Croc at the store because I needed to know what all the fuss was about, and I was not impressed. But I tell all my family, the day I start wearing Crocs, take me out back and have me put down. It's over. That is nursing home, wheelchair, drooling on yourself.
I know a lot of nurses seem to wear them.
I don't care how comfortable they are. They're the ugliest looking swamp toad. It's just nasty. You put your feet, barefoot, nasty feet, in a rubber sock with these little holes.
They bought Hey Dudes.
Hey Dudes are the same way. Your feet sweat in them.
I wear socks with my Hey Dudes.
Well, you're one of the few.
Well, maybe I'm just
then
weird.
Your feet stink, and then everybody's got to smell it. So, according to Amazon, they got a 4.8 star rating out of 5 with 5,554 different reviews.
Sorry, 554,400. That's 500,000, Brad.
500,000 reviews. Let's just go with that. According to Amazon, customers say they like the performance, the comfort, the ease of removal, and the value of the shoes. They mentioned that it is a good everyday wear. The little nubs inside these shoes are soft and amazing for reducing strain and fatigue. They also like the appearance, style, and durability. However, some customers have mixed opinions on their fit. Apparently, Crocs has their own sizing, so you might be a size 8. Yeah, you might be a size 8 regular, but a size 374 in a Croc.
Okay, sure, why not?
So,
I don't even think any of my family owns Crocs.
I don't like Crocs at all. I don't wear Crocs. If you want to wear Crocs, that's your decision, your opinion. Just know, I don't like them. Just because I don't like them doesn't mean you can't like them.
I don't like them.
Believe it or not.
I like the dudes, though.
Believe it or not, we can have our own opinions in this country, and it's okay.
Well,
if we don't agree, it's okay.
For now.
For now, yeah. Think while it's still legal, people.
Yeah, please think while you still can.
Because there will come a time
when you can't think.
So, Amazon. What do other Amazon users have to say about the amazing product Crocs? Well, one user wrote, Crocs have definitely changed. They don't have the same comfortable rubbery type feeling. They're now hard and uncomfortable plastic shoes. Another reviewer said, is everyone in on a giant joke or something? These shoes are the worst torture devices I've ever put my feet in. Are you kidding me?
They're enough torture devices too, I guess.
How is everyone loving these? There are spikes in them.
Really?
I mean,
why would you wear them then?
I was so eager and excited to finally try the famously comfy Crocs. I took them out of the bag and slipped my foot in, then immediately howled in agony. What is wrong with you people? The blood in my foot got pushed aside. It started to go numb. The nerve endings are screaming. Luckily, I don't have the diabetes, or else I might have needed an amputation.
I don't know if they're that bad. Jeez. Holy cow.
This other user, she says, Crocs are nice. Great for around the house if you have pain in your feet. According to that guy, Crocs will give you pain in your feet. She says, or he, I don't even really know, says it's a good shower shoe. It's a good idea to shower with them because they make your feet sweat really bad, which creates a smell that can then transfer into your regular shoes. Then you need to throw your shoes in the washing machine and it becomes a lot of a hassle, so just make sure to check them. Wow. She's saying shower in these shoes. So, I was thinking about it. A good shower shoe. I bet Crocs protect your toes better than a flip-flop.
Probably.
In some of those Motel 6 showers.
But I can get a 99-cent flip-flop at Walmart. These are like what? 80 bucks?
Oh, I think they're like 20, 30 bucks.
I don't know. I haven't shopped for one, but.
Well, no, when I was looking them up, I want to say they were between 20 and 30
What
bucks.
if we put a Reese's without a smiley face in there and smushed it?
What if we claim they said they're comfortable and they're not, and we can sue them?
We'll send them one way to
I bought these Crocs and there was no alligator in here.
We'll just call Bill Clinton and see if he'll fly them over to Epstein Island for us to dispose of them.
Probably. Make them cook lunch for them. This other user says she returned for
we're going to get murdered for talking about the Clintons, right?
Oh, yeah. We won't make it to season 2 of this show.
We'll be lucky to season 2 it.
She returned for 2 different reasons. She returned because the small pointed plastic bumps on the footbed are irritating and highly uncomfortable. The Croc chocolate color is more of a murky gray-green, misrepresented as brown. Browns are made with dyes from one of the following in-color combinations. Red-green makes brown, blue-orange makes brown, yellow-purple makes brown. Here, the chocolate is obviously a red-green mix that's heavily on the green and not attractive. She not only complained about the colors, she gave you the color combination needed to make the correct color Crocs. She needed some brown Crocs to go with her Sunday best. That's what I'm thinking.
Poop's brown.
Yeah,
it is.
Yeah, I agree.
I must stepped in some of your dog's brown poop walking in here.
That's fact.
They could use that as a dye, right?
They could. So, we don't like Crocs. We've both already stated that. If you have a product you would like us to review, by all means, shoot it to us.
How quick do you think a Croc will burn?
I think it would probably melt.
You think?
Yeah.
You think we should...
they're nasty, dude. I can just... There's so many unclean people walking around barefoot in a pair of Crocs. I've seen some of the nastiest kids on this earth slide their nasty, dirty, stanky, bacteria-ridden feet into a pair of nasty, old, dirty Crocs. And then take them off and crawl up in their bed with them.
We know someone. I would say we're friends with them. Their wife is a nurse. We see them at the racetrack about once a year.
Yeah.
I'm going to ask. She wears Crocs and loves them for her nurse work. I'm going to ask her for a used Croc.
Ooh, you're going to touch her old, nasty, swamp-infested feet stink.
I got some of that sanitizer left over from that COVID stuff.
It's like toe cheese on steroids.
I'll spray it with the sanitizer stuff.
It ain't going to.
And then we're going to burn it and see how quick it burns.
Well, will you
light it if I put
I'll throw in on buying a brand new pair of Crocs and we'll burn them. I would rather burn a brand new pair of Crocs than touch somebody else's old, stanky, nasty, sweaty.
I will take a Publix bag.
Dude, no. That is like a foot swamp basket.
I ain't afraid of that crap. Will you light it if I bring it in?
Yeah, sure.
You won't have to touch it.
Are you scared of lighting things on fire?
No, but if you won't touch a shoe.
No, I'm not touching.
I'm curious to see how fast they burn.
I don't have a foot fetish. Feet are nasty. I don't want to see my own feet, much less your feet. It drives me crazy. On TV, we're watching it. Me and my wife were watching this show. Help! I wrecked my house. Oh, how
does this relate to toes?
Every time I watch an episode and the dude's got his polo shirt on and his little short golf shorts on and his flip flops, I'm like, dude. You just spent $100,000 on this renovation, but you can't afford to buy a pair of shoes? I don't want to see your feet. I don't want to see your toes. I don't want you in your mandals.
I ain't got a foot fetish, but man, that's a little extreme.
You wear flip-flops to the pool,
that sounds like
to the beach, and to the shower at a nasty motel.
It sounds like you need some help.
I just don't like feet, man.
What's that?
I don't even like...
We got no sponsors. What's that place, though, that advertises on all the podcasts?
Better help.
You need some better help about feet,
Brad. I need better help than what I'm getting.
Do you close your eyes when you tie your shoes?
My feet don't really bother me. My wife's feet don't bother me. My kids' feet don't bother me.
But other people's feet bother you.
1,000%. Actually, there's an individual whose their kid crawled on me one time, barefoot, and I pushed him off into the floor.
Oh, at least you didn't Epstein that child.
No, I pushed him off. I was like, "Get your nasty feet off me." No, that's what I mean. Like, Crocs are great shoes for kids. I understand parents, I got 3 kids. I remember the tying of the shoes. My daughters went to church in rain boots, whatever you want to wear.
What kind of religion is that?
Crocs, I don't care.
Right.
I would have probably put Crocs on
Are
my
you a
kids'
rain
feet.
boot Baptist?
Rain boot Baptist, baby.
Dang.
Rain
boot Baptist.
Down south.
Oh.
All right, Jamie. Next segment we're going to run out with is called Jamie's Advice Column.
Well, I'm changing. It's going to be called Ask Brad.
Ask Brad.
Ask Brad.
Ask Brad. All right.
Ask Brad.
Dear Brad.
So these are actually taken from this week's or from Dear Abby.
Dear Abby.
And so we don't get sued. We're not going to make any money on it, so we shouldn't get sued anyway. But this Abigail Van Buren happens to be who Abby is.
Okay.
And this was Dear Abby, December 26, 2016.
Jamie found that reading advice columns is his new passion.
Dear Brad.
Dear Brad.
I'm a 70-year-old woman married for 50 years. Congratulations, lady. That's a long time to be married.
It is.
And I hate my husband.
Oh, well, congratulations.
He wants to go to swinger parties and toss me to other men. She must be skinny.
She's 70 years old.
She's getting tossed to other men.
I'm going to let you finish reading before I come
I
back.
tried it a couple times for him and hated it. He is overbearing and rude. He won't have any friends we don't have any friends where we live. So he seeks out new people. He doesn't listen to my begging not to do this. His computer is full of porn and his thoughts are sinful, although he can't perform. Every day I wish he were dead, but I feel guilty for these thoughts. Please tell me what to do. My life is unbearable, Brad. Past my limit in Orlando. What would you suggest to past my limit in Orlando, Brad?
Well, first, past my limit. You're definitely past your limit. You're 70.
I think with blue pills, though, he can get it up.
Well,
obviously, if he's a swinger, you can't swing with a
personally
floppy wiener.
I'm not a fan of swinging. I think if you're...
I didn't know it still existed, to be honest, but I guess it does.
That's the pineapple thing, right? The upside down pineapple?
Yeah, but man.
In the campground with the flamingos?
You'd think once you've been married for 50 years, I don't know.
I would just think 70 is probably not the age you're going to say, you know what, honey?
Well, they are in Orlando.
We've been married 50 years. I think we should spice things up and swing. Because there's probably a lot of women out there that want his 70-year-old ding-a-ling.
His old floppy?
Old floppy.
But
he's trying to spread old floppy around. Here, the thing is, lady, this is what I would suggest. This is my suggestion.
What amazes me is she tried it.
That I'm disappointed in that.
Yeah, why'd you try it, lady?
My advice to past my limit in Orlando is she should probably buy her husband a leaf blower for Christmas.
Yeah.
They are in Florida. So no,
well, the neighborhood shoot them, right?
Maybe she should just leave it.
That's what I'm thinking.
She's 70 years old. She can go to a nice nursing community, a nice assisted living home, and she'll be all right.
Look, if they're hitting swinger parties, though, she's pretty mobile. She could probably just get her own house or condo.
Maybe at this swinger party, find a richer swinger than yours.
Well, maybe if you don't agree with swinging, you should find someone else who's not a swinger. You probably shouldn't be trying to pick up a permanent partner at a swinger party.
His computer is full of porn, and his thoughts are sinful, although he can't perform. Sounds like an emo song.
But it sounds like he can perform.
Like an All-American Rejects.
That sounds like a hateful statement.
Sounds like a Yellow Card song. His computer is full of porn, and his thoughts are sinful, although he can't perform. That's what I'm thinking.
Sinful Swinger, the hair band.
All right, what's our next advice column?
All right.
My advice for past my limit in Orlando is find another husband.
Yeah.
You could probably kill him at this point and get away with it at 70.
Now, this one also appeared on Dear Abby, December 31st, 2014. Ooh. But Dear Brad, my 6-year-old daughter, Sierra, started babysitting in the afternoons for a couple when she was 15. Sometimes her dad or I would drop her off. Sometimes the husband, Carl, would before he left for work. I don't know. I just copy and paste it. I don't know. That's weird. My husband and Carl became friends.
Sometimes her husband would drop the daughter off. Sometimes Carl would.
Oh, yeah. And when Carl and his wife split up, we let him stay on our couch for a few months. Now, wow. Then we found out Sierra was pregnant and that she and Carl had been sleeping together before he split with his wife. My daughter's upset that we want to involve the police and press charges because she's underage. How can I get Sierra to stop hating me and understand that this relationship isn't healthy? The enemy mom in South Carolina.
All right, the enemy mom in South Carolina. My first piece of advice for you, hon. She's your daughter. She's 15, 16. That's how you get her to listen. She moves out, starts paying her own bills, turns 18. She's still your responsibility in a sense, because that's, as a parent, it's our God-given responsibility to take care of the children that he places in our care. So I don't think you care what your daughter thinks here. Your daughter wants to be mad, that's fine. I want to know what your husband's doing.
Well, you know,
I mean,
you screw my 50-year-old daughter and get her pregnant, ball ping hammer to the temple. Sorry, Carl.
Carl's not going to make it.
Carl's never going to be found. You're in South Carolina. They got alligators there and they got swamps.
Her question is, how can I get Sierra to stop hating me? You don't. You don't worry about it. You do what's right for the safety of your child and her child.
You call the police on Carl.
If Carl is willing to sleep with your 15-year-old daughter, I'm assuming Carl's got to be, what, 30s at least at a minimum?
Well, that's if they had a baby at 15. Carl's late 30s, early 40s, my guess.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, so, he's got issues, mental issues.
Carl needs to go
better
to jail.
help. Well, he does need to go to jail, too.
That's all. So my advice to the enemy mom in South Carolina is stop worrying about being your daughter's friend. Stop worrying about hurting your daughter's feelings. And you do what you got to do to protect your daughter.
And get your husband a ball ping hammer.
Or give him his balls back so he can go do what he's supposed to do as a father and take care of his daughter by whooping Carl's butt.
Put Carl in jail.
Carl is on your couch. When I found out my daughter was pregnant, Carl would have went from the couch to the backyard.
To the swamp.
Swamp, music.
The other thing is, I can't believe Carl's still alive.
That's what I mean.
I don't get it.
So the enemy mom in South Carolina.
What? Your daughter is going to give birth. Let's just say 15, 9 months later, 16. She's going to have the baby underage, right?
Well, no, she's 16 when she gets pregnant. So 17, she has the baby.
You take custody of your grandchild.
I don't know. I mean, I think at 16, she could still be a great mom.
Yeah. But you're responsible for that child anyway. If she isn't, now she's young, her brain hasn't matured. So I'm not going to blame her for sleeping with Carl.
No,
obviously Carl's the devil.
Carl is my problem.
Carl's the devil.
Carl is the only problem in my opinion here.
And maybe you already had a problem with Sierra, because Sierra should have come to you when he tried to French kiss her.
Yeah, Sierra should have told you day one.
Hey, Carl,
you don't know what
Carl's trying to kiss me.
Ain't none of this Sierra's fault. Like Carl obviously took advantage of Sierra. And he probably brainwashed her somehow into believing that she should do what she did. He tricked her somehow.
But you know, if I have a friend I mean,
like I said, Sierra is the victim here.
Well, Carl's kind of dumb too. So are you. I've had friends.
You call me dumb?
Carl.
Oh.
Sierra, Carl. I mean, you might have your dumb moments. I don't think it's like, total issue.
It's not Carl dumb.
No. But I've had a friend when I was first married asked if he could sleep on the couch because he had marital problems.
Yeah.
I said no. Why are you going to let some idiot come into your house? You got kids, right?
You said when you were first married.
When I was first married.
Did you have kids?
No, but I had a buddy who was cheating on his wife and got thrown out of the house and said, hey, can I sleep on the couch? I said, no. No, you can't.
Why not? Why did you say no?
It's my house. It ain't his house.
Yeah, but you want to help a friend out?
He done shit where he eats. If you ain't that smart.
You don't want to come try and do the same thing.
I don't need stupidity in my house.
I'm with you. I mean, I'm with you on that. So I get that.
I might wake up and he's cuddling with me.
Yeah, he might.
Yeah, he got issues. He need better help.
Was his name Carl?
No. I'm not going to say the name because.
All right, so the enemy mom in South Carolina, I think what you need to do right now is love on your daughter, be there for her, make Carl disappear, whether that be
Take your husband's balls out of your purse.
However that may be.
Give them to your husband.
I think the police need to get involved here, and you need to let
yeah.
the authorities do what the authorities are going to do. Your daughter's probably going to be mad, but eventually she's going to snap out of it and realize this 43-year-old man named Carl, who now lives on my parents' couch, is probably not the best guy around. So,
and if Carl,
you need to be a mom right now.
He's a predator. He's a predator.
Take care of your daughter. She's about that. She needs to be a mom too. So, and I don't doubt she can. I mean, my mom was young and she did a phenomenal job raising me. So there's no doubt that Sierra can't do the same. So I just think she needs all the support from her mother that she can get. So that's my advice to you, the enemy mom in South Carolina.
Now, if Carl knows the Clintons, he will hang himself.
Then we're all in trouble.
In the county prison with no guards or cameras.
Carl
sitting on the floor.
Carl hung himself out in the middle of that field.
Dang. So really,
wasn't a tree or nothing around the dirt field.
Really mean mama from South Carolina, you need to decide whether you want your daughter's 80-year-old boyfriend to die in a prison cell because he knows the Clintons, or out in the swamp because your husband finally grew a pair.
Amen.
And decide to stick up for his daughter.
Correct.
That's all I got there, Brad.
All right. So that's
the madness, the funniness, and the sadness.
Madness, the funniest, and the sad. That's right.
Yeah. Almost sounds like Clint Eastwood movie in the 60s.
I mean, the madness, the sadness, the funniest.
You think we can get 90-year-old Clint Eastwood to star in that? The madness, the sadness, and the funniest?
You reading any good books right now?
I am.
What are you reading?
I just read chapter 1 yesterday. I'm going to have to look at my YouTube.
You don't remember what it's called?
No, I just got it. It's a business book.
Oh, see, I'm reading one about, it's a disaster book about an earthquake.
In Tokyo?
No, it's called The New Madrid something.
Oh, that was the one back in the, 1800s along the Mississippi.
Yeah, it's called New Madrid Earthquake, a Disaster Thriller. That's what I'm currently
reading.
What is
it, a historic novel?
No. Dude, do I look like somebody who reads historic books?
I don't know.
I read fiction. I read fiction because reading is my escape. I'm dyslexic also, so I make up half the story in my mind anyway. So it's okay. But you don't read on your phone. That's why you can't find it.
No, I read actual books.
No, I'm a Kindle user. I read on my Kindle only. So, but really, that's all we got this week, huh?
That's it. I'm looking at my recent purchases.
Jamie's going to tell us the name of his book, and then we're going to call it quits for the day.
Oh, let's just call it quits.
All right, so next week our review segment will be on Jamie's book.
Yeah, I'll bring it. I'll have more than one. He'll
read chapter 2 by next week.
I read a chapter a night.
So
it's good for a new book every 2 weeks.
Plan is record this show weekly. Next week, I think we're going to record towards the end of the week. Not 100% sure. If you follow us on Twitter or follow me on X, it's @CarBackwards.
Just remember the name Loose Cannon. We're going to loosely do this when we can because we have full-time jobs.
So the hope is, we will definitely do it once a week. We'll figure out what day we're going to do it on. Probably at some point we'll start doing it on Mondays consistently, but I know the next couple Mondays we got some things going on. So,
are you going to post this on our regular channel?
Yeah, this will be posted on our regular YouTube channel. It will be posted on our Race Car Backwards podcast page as well as the Loose Cannon 44 podcast page. So thanks to everyone who's listened and watched our first episode. Please share the show on social media. Share it with your friends. Tell your coworkers about it. Tell your neighbor about it. If you got a fish, tell your fish about it.
Your fish can listen too. Just give them Bluetooth headphones.
When you're sitting at the exit ramp on the highway and the homeless man walks by asking for money and you don't have any money, just roll the window down. We got Loose Cannon 44, #1 podcast among homeless people.
Give him a quarter too. Give him a quarter.
Well, if you don't have a quarter, just don't go without. That's all.
Yeah.
If you don't have anything else to give them the gift of the Loose Cannon 44 podcast.
Because they all seem to have phones.
Yeah, they'll check. They can at least watch us on YouTube, right?
Yeah, they got the George Bush phones. Free
ones. You can follow us on X. We're at Car Backwards. I'm not going to start a whole nother Twitter page to keep. So it's at Car Backwards on Twitter, or I'm at Del _yeah 406. And Jamie's on there too. He's
somewhere
at James Farrow something.
Am
3. I think you're James Farrow 3.
434. Oh, the third.
Yeah.
Because my third account kept forgetting passwords. They kept telling me I wasn't me.
Make sure you subscribe to this show on YouTube. Check out our other shows, Race Car Spelled Backwards, The Conspiracy Juice Bar. We got tons of shorts. Check those out. You can check out this show on Spotify. If you listen on Spotify, make sure you rate us, follow us. If you listen on Apple Podcasts, make sure you leave us a review. Check out our other shows. Like I said, Race Car Spelled Backwards. Season 3 of Race Car Spelled Backwards will get underway in February. If you got any questions or you need to tell us anything whatsoever, have anything you want to say to us, you can email us at loosecannon44@gmail.com.
And if you'd like to start your own podcast, we have a consulting firm. It's $5,000 for one day. We got to take a day off from our full-time job. But with that $5,000, what you get is we'll get you a free account on Spotify. We'll tell you what equipment we bought, and we'll show you how to work it. And
we'll be your first guest.
Yeah, we'll be your first guest. $5,000 cash.
Yes.
And we'll show you how to have a podcast as a hobby.
A hobby of podcast.
Yeah.
So,
we're not going to sell you a dream.
Loose Cannon 44 is an RCB media production. Like I said, check out our other shows. But other than that, thank y'all for listening. We greatly appreciate it. We have fun doing it, and we hope you have fun listening. We'll see you guys next week. Thanks, everybody. Bye.
Peace to you and your mother.